In this segment, we're going to talk about the lumbar plexus and the sacral plexus. The lumbar plexus, just like the cervical and the brachial, is formed by the ventral primary rami of the spinal nerves, and it innervates, provides motor and sensory innervation to the lower abdomen, the anterior and medial thigh. The nerves that I want you to be aware of are the iliohypogastric and the ilioinguinal, and these nerves innervate the very lowest part of your abdomen. The genitofemoral innervates just what it says it does, femur meaning thigh, so it innervates the medial aspect of the thigh and the anterior parts of the genitals. There's also a lateral cutaneous nerve to get the other side of the thigh, and that's right here. And there are two larger nerves that also provide motor and sensory information. There's the femoral, right here. The femoral nerve innervates the anterior compartment of your thigh. And those are the muscles that are the knee extensors. So when you think about kicking a ball and you think about your quadricep muscles, that's your femoral nerve. The obturator nerve innervates the medial compartment of your thigh, and those muscles include all of your adductors or adductors, and those are the muscles that are necessary to keep you on a horse. So these are the basic branches of the lumbar plexus that I want you to be aware of. In the next slide, we'll talk about the sacral plexus. The sacral plexus, just like the lumbar and the brachial and the cervical, its origins are the ventral primary rami. It provides motor and sensory innervation to the posterior thigh, the leg, and the pelvis. The superior and inferior gluteal nerves obviously innervate your gluteal muscles. And then the nerve to the piriformis, I guess they couldn't think of anything more interesting to call it, so it's just the nerve to the piriformis. The sciatic nerve, everyone's heard of. And that's the large nerve that comes out of your sacral plexus and goes through the entire back of your leg, the back of your lower extremity, through the thigh and into the leg. It's split into a tibial and common fibular. The sciatic, before it splits, innervates the posterior compartment of the thigh, and then the tibial and common fibular divide up and innervate the different compartments of your leg, your calf muscles, and the anterior compartments. There's also a posterior cutaneous nerve. When we talked about the lumbar plexus, we had a lateral cutaneous and a cutaneous nerve of the thigh, and those were on the anterior aspect of the thigh. So there's a posterior cutaneous nerve that innervates the posterior aspect of the thigh. And then there's the pudendal nerve, and the pudendal nerve is really important because it innervates the external area of your perineum. And your perineum is basically your external genitalia. And so it's both sensory and motor. The pudendal nerve is really, really important if you're thinking about things like bladder control and fecal continence, because those sphincter muscles that are on the outside are under voluntary control, and they're all innervated by the pudendal nerve. So, what's a plexus? What regions are served by each of these plexuses? And then what are the terminal branches of each of these plexuses? So if I gave you a long list of nerve names, I would want you to be able to sort them into the appropriate plexus and understand the basic coming together of the ventral primary rami and then the splitting apart into their terminal branches. If you're ready for that, then you're ready for the assessment.